right, listen to this historic move. The Teamsters announced they will not endorse a candidate for president, making Kamala Harris the first Democrat since 1996 not to get the union's backing. And New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not happy about it.
I'm very disappointed in Sean O'Brien's leadership. I have found it increasingly alarming all year. When the Teamsters are in trouble, who do they call? When we need to make sure that Teamsters pensions are bailed out, when we need to make sure that they have a fair shake at the negotiating table with rail, it was Sean O'Brien calling Democrats for help.
New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney joins us now. Congresswoman, isn't it really the other way around? When Democrats need to win elections, they call up the Teamsters, who then ultimately cater to what the union bosses want, instead of catering, one, to the rank and file, but two, most importantly, to the American people.
Well, it's interesting that she says that. How undemocratic of her. The majority of the Teamsters rank and file members supported Donald Trump in a poll, and that's probably why the Teamsters leadership didn't come out and go against the leadership, their own members. But she wants them to do that because guess why they're struggling? It's the Green New Deal of New York that was passed in New York and something she advocates for that's hurting all kinds of union members all across New York and all across the country. And it's affecting New York State as well. Remember, Trump was just in a fantastic rally in Long Island yesterday. New York is a union state, and there are a lot of union members, particularly in upstate, that support Republicans because our policies give them jobs, keep them in New York, and keep them in our beautiful state that are being driven out by policies like AOC, who drives the agenda in left-wing Albany that controls our state. And so, yeah, the Teamsters understand, you know, more AOC means less jobs for our Teamsters union and less jobs for our workers and less jobs for the American people, less productivity. And I think that's why you're seeing so many union members won't say anything, but they're actually going to come out and support Republicans, and they're going to support President Trump in upstate New York. I work with unions every day in my job in upstate New York. Police, fire, the linemen. We always forget about the heroic efforts of the linemen who are out there every day making sure that we have energy. Our hospitals are running, our schools are running, our businesses, all those things they do. They're brave people that are in unions. So she doesn't get it. She's just all about politics and against democracy, actually.
Yeah, Congresswoman, I'm glad you brought up the rally in New York. It was huge, and there were people even outside the venue space watching him speak on big screen TVs. And his message to try and encourage people to vote for him is, with the crime, with the immigration, with the economy, what the heck do you have to lose? Vote for me. So what did you think about that message and his chances of winning the state?
Well, it's going to be a tough climb to win New York State. New York City, you have to win a certain percentage, and then you've got to win upstate New York, which he'll win. But, you know, Lee Zeldin came really close, did a fantastic campaign. I don't want to count it out, but it's a tough climb for him. But look, I think President Trump was really on his game last night. He came back to the humorous, unifying President Trump. He's talking about things that everybody's experiencing from bad policies caused by the left, particularly in New York State. The crime, I just mentioned the energy problem, people having high inflation, high gas costs, high grocery costs. All those things are affecting us. And Trump is saying, why not try me? I'm going to give you an opportunity to keep your job, to stay in New York, the home that you love. I'm one of those people that's still fighting the battle in New York State. So many have left, the highest out-migration of any country, of any state in the entire nation. Over 1 million people, I think it's 1.5 million people or even more, have left New York. So I think Trump had a great message. I don't know if it's his little warm-up on the Gutfeld show. I'm addicted to Gutfeld. I love him. Perfect setting for President Trump, because Trump is one of those fun people. When you get to know him, it's hard not to like him. I was able to join President Trump for golf a few years ago. And I'm a golfer, and I'll tell you, it is a lot of fun with him. He's, you know, there's the banter back and forth. He's really humorous. He's really fun. He's competitive in a great way. All of that is starting to shine with President Trump. And look he's under so much stress. Lawsuits being brought against him unfairly. He's been shot at and two attempted assassination attempts. What a leader! What a courageous guy! I'm just so proud of the way he's been coming out lately and being himself, being honest, as he always is, but humorous. And his sense of humor is what people need to know. He is a warm guy. He's a humorous guy. Look, he called my son, who's a Marine, the day before he got deployed to the Middle East, and we'll never forget that in my family. Yeah. He was wonderful to him. He's got this wonderful side to him. I just want to make sure we keep seeing that as we go into the campaign, and he'll get more votes. He'll unify America.
Yeah, I spoke with one voter who said, I want to see him just smile more. And I think that came out last night, whether it was Gutfeld, whether it was the rally. And to your point, Congresswoman, it really does speak to the voter.
We did learn during the Bryson DeChambeau video that he is a good golfer.
And so is Claudia Tenney.
Yes.
Congresswoman, thank you. Fox and Friends.
He is a good golfer.
Right now.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.